Hello, everybody. I see a lot of people here. We'll have a very interesting panel now that is starting, and we're going to discuss the metaverse and the blockchains and how they're connected. And I want to make sure that we have some attention from you guys. Feel free to get your seats here. We will have a kind of 20 to 30 minutes, really interesting discussion with great speakers. And before we start, I want to just introduce a little bit more about myself. I'm founder and CEO of Evido. It's a global ecosystem for the events and entertainment industry, and we are actually providing different kind of products that are helping the events and entertainment industry to work better, as event ticketing, B2B platform that is unique by itself, and also NFT platform that we are building. And I'm very happy to be here and to moderate this panel. I want to say first hello again, and feel free to come here, guys. The good thing is that we have a good sound. Yes. I want to invite here on the stage our amazing speakers, and first want to say, because we are 8th of March, is the International Women's Day, I want to invite one amazing woman here, Anna Tutova, which is CEO of Coinstelegram. Anna, welcome on stage. Yeah, some applauses, guys. Maybe if we get some microphones, we will be good. I had a great chance actually a few weeks ago to meet one amazing guy here in Dubai also, that we already are in very, very great connection. And this is the next speaker that we're gonna discuss our panel. Karnika Yashwant, Mr. K, welcome on stage. He's founder of Forward Protocol and Utopian Capital, and definitely he has a lot of things to share with you guys. Applauses. And also, I just met our next panelist, which are building a great infrastructure for. Actually, they're building not a metaverse; they're building a galaxy. And this galaxy is very related with the event and entertainment industry. And I'm really glad to welcome on stage also Fuad Nazirov, which is the CTO of MetaVibes. Applauses, guys. Yeah, we have more microphones. Can I try to speak here? Can I try? Okay. I will speak here, maybe it's better. One. And I want also to invite, guys, Rico Pank, if he's here. I think that he has some troubles with the traveling, but yeah, he was supposed to be here, but he's not, and I hope that we'll all have the chance to meet him later. The last panelist that I want to invite here is Greg Meredith. Some applauses for Greg. Is Greg here as well? Greg? Maybe Greg is inside or... Okay. Probably two of our speakers are not here on the panel, but that will give us more chance to speak with... Oh, okay, Greg, hello. He's founder and chairman of Archain Cooperative. Welcome on stage, man. Applauses. There is one microphone for you as well. Oh, thank you. Yes. Okay, guys, we are now on stage, and I'm sure that there will be a lot of topics to be discussed. We'll try to keep like this panel kind of simple but very valuable for you. The guys that are here and are already watching us. And I will start with some kind of introduction question, which is really important for like why we're all here. Like we're on the MetaWeek. This is a Metaverse event that is also related a lot with the crypto NFTs, blockchain. And my first question is that there is a basic understanding of what Metaverse environment is and what it should be in your opinion. And maybe here on this question, I would like to invite all of you guys to give your short opinion about this. Maybe we can start with the lady because it's 8th of March, of course.
Hello, everybody. Great to see you all here today. Let me briefly introduce myself first. My name is Anna Tutova. I'm CEO of Coins Telegram, and we have news media and as well PR consultant agencies. So we help crypto and blockchain, NFT, gaming, metaverse companies with promotion in media via influencers and do different social media campaigns. And related to the question, what is metaverse? Actually, the term first appeared in 1992. In the novel of Stefan Nilsson called Snow Crash. And actually it was exactly described as what we're trying to develop now. It's a virtual world where people will use avatars and different augmented reality and etc. So the same we see that companies trying to do now, but I think we are too early to have like real metaverse. We just see some VR glasses companies like Oculus and etc. Facebook renamed to Meta, but for me it's more hype scene rather than any real actions because like nothing really changed with Facebook or Meta for now. But as a concept, it will be a mixture of virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality where people can be able interact in the virtual world the same as in the real life. So they will have digital avatars and there will be different sensors so that you can feel like you are interacting in the 3D world.
That's awesome, Anna. And I want to invite our other speakers here and panelists to first to introduce themselves and then to answer like this first introductory question.
Hey guys, very excited to be here and thank you everyone for participating right now. So just to give a quick intro, I'm Key. I'm been in the space since 2013. I'm a hardcore protocol guy. I believe in the blockchain technology as what it truly is, decentralization of power. And I've been running the largest blockchain marketing agency, Key Difference Media, since 2013. In the year 2017, we started a Utopian Capital Fund. And in 2018, I found that all those activities do not lead up to anything substantial because there's a large gap, and that's blockchain adoption. And that's when I started Forward Protocol. It is a solution that helps people deploy their application on a no-code interface. And we have been growing that ecosystem over the past many years. And we are very excited to have more than 300 plus partners and expanding around the world. So that's a quick brief. And coming to the question of what is a metaverse, metaverse to me is an experience. We have always been as humans looking at different ways of expression, of being able to see things differently, experience things differently at our comfort. So we have been looking at virtual experiences, looking at all the ways and means through which we can interact and make that process simpler, not only for us, but for the brands and for everyone participating with us. So metaverse is that expression and being able to do things, shop things and buy things, move around, and being able to see things that we could not see from a particular location. And that experience is evolving. Obviously, it's in a very basic stage right now, and it is supposed to increase and expand, and that may take few years. But the point is, as a concept, it is what humans have been earning for. I wouldn't say metaverse is here out of nowhere, but that's what we all, as creative individuals, looking to expand, looking to make something happen progressive, have been moving towards. So as that creative expression, it is not independent. Blockchain as a technology is powering it. It is the ownership. It is the immutable data. And the metaverse is expressing that where you can see, interact, and experience. So that's my perspective on it.
I can definitely agree with you that the metaverse, it is and need to be experienced because this is also our life. The real verse is also experience. And having different kind of experience in different verses maybe is the kind of the present and the near future. I want to invite also Fuad,
Fuad, yeah.
Fuad, yes, sorry, for a short introduction and maybe answer of this question as a builder of the infrastructure of these new worlds that are coming.
Yeah, thank you very much to giving me the award. My name is Fuad Nasirov. I'm from Azerbaijan, and I want to say thank you to all organizer. And yes, we started to build Metaverse now, and we are believing in it. So, like somebody could tell that it's a future, but it's happening now. It's happening now, and because now you see this Facebook, as Anna said, now it's Meta. Why it's Meta? Why the multi-billionaire invested billions of dollars into Metaverse? Why he made the helmet for $300 that has no wires? Like it's very convenient, very light, and everybody can buy it. So we will see very great changes happening now in this field, starting from now. Actually, and it was happening before, like it was games. Why we're not talking about the games, the Roblox, the Sandbox, and all these games is already Metaverse now. You can buy a thing there, you can earn money there, you can make some events there. Already there are some events happening in this Metaverse.
We will do for sure.
Yeah, in this Metaverses. So I think the Metaverse has a really big future. And I will tell you the short story then about my friend from Turkey, what he done in this case with VR glasses. But I will pass the word to another.
We're curious about this later. And thank you for, and Greg, I would love to, if you can introduce yourself and answer this question, like what the metaverse is for you, and then we can go to the next question, guys.
Sure. Is the mic on? Can you hear me out there? Sounds like it's on. Oh, first of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be on the panel and to share opinions and observations with each of you. I have to say that this is a moment of coming full circle for me. You would be surprised to know, maybe not from my gray hair, but 40 years ago, I was working with some of the pioneers of artificial reality in the US's first consortial research lab. So MCC, the Microelectronics and Computer Technology Corporation, required Admiral Inman to go and break down some antitrust laws to form MCC so that many US companies could collaborate together to do research. And my very first job as a research scientist was working with Kim Fairchild and Alan Wexelblatt and many other people in the artificial reality community at the time. So that was in the late 80s and early 90s. One of the things that I got out of that was recognizing that our distributed computing infrastructure was not going to scale the way it was currently conceived. And I needed to go and develop a bunch of computer science and mathematics to get it to the point where it can scale. And now, as president and founder of OurChain, we have built the world's most scalable blockchain. So kind of come full circle. We now have a blockchain that's actually capable of supporting things like the metaverse. To give you a simple example, some basic numbers. First of all, you'll notice that for the past 50 years, we've been scaling systems by adding hardware. Most chains get slower as you add hardware. Ethereum gets slower as you add hardware. Bitcoin gets slower as you add hardware. OurChain gets faster as you add hardware. And in particular, so we get about 1,000 transactions per second per node in the network per CPU. So if you have 10 nodes in your network, each of which has 10 CPUs, that's 10,000 transactions. 20 nodes in your network with 20 CPUs, that's 20,000 transactions per second. And it scales linearly. Now, this is the kind of architecture that you have to have if you wanted to store massive amounts of state, like what's being generated on the metaverse, on chain, so that the data that is associated with the metaverse is not housed behind the firewall of any one corporation. right? So this is, when it comes to what I think a metaverse is, well, back 40 years ago, I was imagining situations like a bunch of physicians and biochemists standing together in a virtual space, looking at a protein in 3D and watching it fold and unfold. So I see the metaverse, at least in its best form, as giving us a way to kind of break the laws of physics, to create our own laws of physics. But by the same token, I think we all have to recognize that the way we have treated our own physical world has put us to the brink of destruction. and I hope that the metaverse can provide the communication medium whereby we can come together much more rapidly to begin to take on some of those questions.
Actually, Greg, you just mentioned my next question, and that is actually how you guys imagine that the communication flow will be made in the metaverse, like how people will communicate, and also how we can actually, or if we need to do something to protect people from some potential problems with the communication. Karnika, what do you think about it?
Okay, so when it comes to communication, you have many means. Just like in the VR world, you could just speak, which is not on record. It's not on chain. But then if you do want to pass a message, you can do it the similar way you function with a blockchain by actually printing an on-chain message and transacting. But the biggest question or the challenge that comes is not just in communicating, but in doing an authentic communication. And most people are anonymous, and the identities, we prefer it to be anonymous. Then how do we know that the message is coming from the right source? And that is, again, playing back to how the data authenticity is maintained by the connectivity of the chain. So if it's an NFT, if it's some asset that you're selling, you should be able to track it back to the ownership of who owns something and who created something. And you obviously do have challenges on duplicity. People could duplicate an exact similar asset, and it's very hard for a normal user to verify and validate that. And that's where you have new tools coming up, technology through which you can verify if something is original or something is a duplicate of the original. So it is an evolving space, and the sad news is that the moment it starts, the more and more scams will come up, and that is going to be the need, the necessity that creates more and more innovative products that can help verify, validate, and improvise on how we trust, how we communicate, and how we function within the space. So we have the challenges even in the traditional world right now, but going to the metaverse, it's going to be 10 times more. It is the education that we provide to the members of a community, to everyone around us, that is going to help us cross this challenge and the boundaries that we are going to see in the days to come.
As for me, the communication in metaverse and on the internet doesn't really have much difference. Just like you have some 3D worlds, some just another picture through some VR glasses or something, but actually it's the same, and we see on the internet the same, a lot of anonymous users, and especially in crypto industry, people even just, not because they would like to do something malicious, but just because they would like to protect their privacy, so they use some nicknames on Twitter or Discord and interact with other people, not under real names, and not showing that they are into crypto or into something else. So that's normal, and it's more as for the privacy and the safety in the for communication in the metaverse. It's probably more the question about cybersecurity laws, and the governments should implement some more cybersecurity laws and regulate the communication in the virtual worlds and generally on the internet, and as well in specifically in crypto, and as we see, it's a mixture of metaverse and crypto worlds. The big role plays community, where community is some kind of self-regulated, and you can punish this or that person if he or she does something wrong. Or like, for example, you can block the wallets of that person, and as Key already mentioned, that everything on blockchain can be tracked, to whom the assets belongs, to whom that NFT belongs, so everything is quite trackable, and it's more probably is the role of the community, which can encourage if you do something good, or which can punish you if you do something malicious.
Actually, here, this discussion leads me to a question that how do you think, like, do you think that the metaverse need to be absolutely decentralized? Because this is also a topic that is discussed now because of Facebook Meta, and like, do you think that the Facebook need to be like the metaverse need to be decentralized fully, or semi-decentralized, or fully centralized? Like, what is your opinion on this topic? It's very interesting for me, like, to hear all of you guys about this.
So do you mind for me to jump in? Okay.
Maybe we can start with you.
Okay. So when it comes to centralization and decentralization, my belief is very simple. The blockchain is here for decentralization, but then the process could, in many instances, start centralized for making it easier for people. You already have gasless transactions like Biconomy, even for decentralized space, and there are custodians even for signing that remove the signing process in certain instances to make that process easier. So there might be a hybrid in the start, because the end goal here is not just to decentralize the whole world, it is to bring the data on chain, to make that process immutable. The needs of different communities would differ. Not every community might want it decentralized. So I would say that it needs to be led to the individual communities to make the choice, whether they want it decentralized, semi-decentralized, or fully decentralized, and how much of that control they're going to take over. Because if it's a real degen crypto community, they want to do everything themselves. They want to own the data, they want to own the signing, they want to own everything, but that's not for everyone. It's a choice of the community, of the people that who are going to be using it. So yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for this question. Yes.
Yeah, I think the two questions are actually related. First of all, I think if we look at the existing landscape right now, right? There's not one social media network. There are many of them, and that will always be like that. Likewise, there will be many metaverses. Some will be decentralized and some will be centralized, and people will make different choices depending upon where the value is and the communities that they wish to serve or be a part of. They'll make those decisions. But for the decentralized ones, the notion of identity it becomes quite interesting. In our chain, we make a strong commitment to self-sovereign identity and self-sovereign data. And once you have those capabilities, then you can look at consent to disclose information. Consent to disclose credentials, consent to disclose healthcare information, those kinds of things, because the person has the private key to their information, right? It's not behind the firewall of a corporation. And so in that case, whether you're out in the ordinary internet or in the metaverse, those are things that the blockchain affords that are not afforded by the centralized services.
Thanks, Greg. And
Also want to answer this question. I think if we are talking about decentralization and what will be happening in terms of privacy in the blockchain, I think there should be, like we are doing in our platform, there should be a kind of trust rating of everybody in the platform. So, and some kind of artificial intelligence which
that is protecting the
Is,
communication.
but not the, it should be artificial, decentralized some AI. So that's how it will work in the future.
It needs to be decentralized artificial intelligence.
There was one other point I forgot to mention, which is that there's an underlying issue with respect to centralization, and that has to do with the amount of compute resources necessary to build compelling metaverses. And to date, that's not going to happen on home computers.
Yeah.
Now there's a trend in terms of hardware that where we might cross a point where there's enough compute power sort of in the sort of average network, the average workstation, laptop around where you could see that. But to date, most of the compute resources necessary to do that forces a kind of centralization.
I think we're like the 5-inch floppy disk version of Metaverse time right now. We have a long way to go.
Absolutely. And Anna want to say something as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything previously mentioned, and especially that there are many social media platforms, etc. Some are centralized, some are decentralized. We see now big movement from transformation from Web 2 to Web 3. So maybe in future we will see more decentralized metaverses and etc. And generally, it's not a problem, but I think community can regulate itself, and maybe it's some kind of we can make analogy of countries of the states where just people can govern the country as like as a nation, or there will be should be some centralized ruler.
Thank you. Actually, my next question is very related with one of the most common use case for the metaverse, and this is like the metaverse events. And I want to do some check with the audience. Hey guys, how many of you actually attended metaverse event ever? Like, can you raise a hand? All of you guys that are already attended a metaverse event? Okay, a few people. That means that it's a huge potential for the meta events to grow, I'm sure. And here are like the builders are for sure on events like this, which are physical events, and they're providing infrastructure for the virtual events to happen, and not to happen just as a Zoom call, but to happen on a really amazing environment and to be valuable. With the COVID, actually, we had a huge suffering of the whole event industry, and I think that this triggered a lot like the online and even like the metaverse events. There were some huge events that were handled in Fortnite, like concerts. We were very happy to partner with my company with Tomorrowland around the world, which is because of the pandemic, they started doing like 2 times per year a huge virtual events, and they put some kind of benchmark on the virtual events. And I'm sure that the metaverse will be amazing venue and will provide amazing venues for any kind of events, concerts, conferences, festivals, workshops. Why not the cooking classes, everything. And I would love to hear more about this from Fuad, and to explain a little bit more his vision about this.
Yes, this is our point, because our company MetaVibes, we are developing now the platform for events, for metaverse events, and we think it's the future. Why we started from the games, and we start to make events in the games, and it was like the meta events. Now we want to build a virtual platform, so we need to understand there's 2 kind of events could happen in metaverse. It could be 360-degree experience event, and it could be the just virtual events with avatars. So we are building the platform for both of these events. And just imagine you were asked to make an event for 1 million people in the real life. Could you do that? No, I don't think so. It's some security problem. It's like place problem where to make this event. And it's a lot of problem. But in the metaverse, you could do it with just couple of clicks. Let's take, there's a 3.5 billion football fans now in the world. It's a half of population of the world. And these all fans, they want to watch different kind of matches that are far away from there. Like what they do, they need to buy a ticket to go to another country. What they need to do, they need to take hotels, and so many things. They need to spend money, and what's second, they need to spend time. The time is very, very important now. So what we're doing is that we'll provide events like soccer event. We'll build a stadium in our platform, and there will be matches so around the world. So you can have a rest on your couch, having some drink, and watching the 360 event, not leaving your home. So I think this is the future, and it not limited to the soccer. It will be some concerts, conferences, some exhibition, and actually we have the working demo in our stand, and you can approach us and to take a look in the VR glasses already.
We will definitely try it. One of my last questions, guys, because we're our panel is almost at the end, is like all the industries actually are transforming now in Web3 and Metaverse, and maybe one of the most impactful industries is the media and how actually the information is spread around the internet now and the usual activities. But how do you see, Karnika? It's for you mostly this question. How do you see like the medias are starting to interact in the metaverse?
So when it comes to the metaverse, the need of interaction, I would say that the need has to evolve, and more people are going to take part in the days to come. Just like the Zoom, we didn't jump on Zoom until Corona came. Like all the meetings we had to physically go and attend, and that's how business was conducted around the world. But when the Corona came, the need emerged, and people were ready to use Zoom as a means of communication. Now the metaverse is a concept, it's a buzzword. When we hear about it, people go there, people try to use that as a marketing method of attracting attention. But it has still not gone to a point in time when people use it because they want to use it, because the experience is nice for them, and because that's the lifestyle that they want to live. The digital nomad lifestyle. So the media is starting to publish, information there, starting to telecast things there. You can do a lot of different activities out in metaverse right now, but then the audience that is needed to sustain that is something that I believe is going to take maybe a year or 2 years to actually happen in a practical manner. So the media is the first and the foremost thing next to the events, primarily because it's the easiest and the most technically feasible one to conduct on metaverse. But then the audience is the big lag there, which I believe is transition as we make the experience easier, the tools easier, and the process easier for the real world. So my entity Forward's major objective is to bring that blockchain adoption and make that process easier. And the more tools we provide to the people to get there and to integrate it with their existing businesses and make it more usable, it is a journey that they will promote to their audience to spread it around. It is a process where one entity, one individual cannot promote it to the whole world, but we need to make it simpler for everyone to promote to the people around. They need to be excited. One has to experience and share it. The more people experience, the more people share, the more members are going to join this journey.
Absolutely. It's Anna?
I would like to add from the point of view of censorship. So when we are moving to Web3 and in terms of media, we don't have this censorship. So we have full freedom of speech, and like any media can write whatever they want, unlike in somebody's owned media, what we see nowadays. And especially, I think it relates much to politics and to government relations. And even before all this boom with Metaverse and etc., a few years ago in some game, I don't remember now the name, but they hide some articles and poems by the journalist who revealed the real situation in the country where there were a lot of protests. So it was even back then when some kind of game and libraries within this game were a solution for free expression.
Thank you, guys. And my last question, actually, it's also to Greg. How do you think, guys, like the new projects that are coming into the metaverse, like what will be the quality quantity balance? Like how you can see like this project is investable, like this project will scale, this project will deliver. Like which are the main things that you think that one project need to have?
It's funny that you asked me because I'm a mathematician. And so my answer is always show me
the math. It will be a mathematician answer.
Show me the math. That's how I evaluate projects in general. Show me the math. If the math checks, then I believe in it. If there's no math or the math doesn't check, I don't believe in it. And it's really that simple.
I will tell a short story about the project that are done by my friend from Turkey. What he've done, he's like engineer, but he has a farm. And what happened, like the fields, there's no fields near the farm. So what he done, he put the VR glasses to the cows to give more milk because there was shortage of milk. And you know what, 20% more the milk with the VR glasses. They were giving 20% more milk.
I
So,
completely agree. I heard about this story, by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
and this is like when your mental health, like when you feel happier, you give more.
yeah, yeah,
That's,
it's not like the people who give more milk, people don't give milk, but it increased productivity of all fields in our life.
absolutely. Some last words, Karnika?
Yeah, so when it comes to investing on projects or evaluating, a lot of projects in the space right now, especially in Metaverse, is pretty much just copy the white paper. They pretty much change the name and everything is the same. And the real difference, the way I would see, is if there's a technologically, they're adding some valuable addition, something that either progresses the tech part, but more importantly, as he was mentioning, it is the mathematics. If there's a business model behind it, if there's a reason for a particular metaverse or a project to exist, and they're able to connect the revenue, they can raise the funds and they can run with it, but that is not going to last forever. Someday, sometime, they need to bring the damn revenue in.
Need to
and when
be
they do it, there's a
sustainable,
question.
yes.
Exactly, sustainability. If they do bring the sustainability in there, that is going to bring the continuity of the business. Then that forces them, that mandates that they need to build and expand the ecosystem on that basis. Because it's not just the number of users. When the users are there, you need to monetize it. How do you monetize? How do you bring in the other side of the business, the money in? It cannot be just built on tokenization. The more you build rewards on tokenization, it becomes a pyramid scheme. The more people joining, the more money everyone makes, but when that stops, everything falls down. But when the business element is there, there's a true value creation. And when the value is created, it can go on. As long as you deliver value, you can do anything with it in the world of business. So value is the key focus when I invest on any project. And that's what business and the life is all about.
I completely agree here with you. And some last words from Anna as well, our lady in the company.
When it comes to metaverse investing, for me, it's the same evaluation as for any investment. So first of all, you check the team, their background, what previous experience they have, like what's their knowledge or what projects they built before. And another thing is partnerships play quite a big role. And if you don't have strong partnerships, and if nobody will use your metaverse, so what's it for? So the whole question is to bring in people, bring in users, to your product, to your offering, and that's it. But personally, I'm quite skeptical about metaverses, and I think we are too far away from the real adoption of the metaverses, and I think it may be relevant maybe for younger generation who are like real gamers and who are probably adjusted more just to sit at home and being in front of their computers. Because even during the coronavirus times, from what I saw in terms of events, a lot of people tried to make virtual events. And first, like people, came, listened to the speeches, but then everybody get bored and everybody missed just real life interaction. And there were even some like 3D games 3D games incentivizes some efforts to make as well your avatar, etc. But I didn't see that it really worked.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all for this amazing discussion. We can, with such a great panelist, we can speak a lot, like maybe another 2-3 hours without stopping. I want to invite everyone to give applauses for all these amazing people here. And thanks for the discussion. And feel free, guys, to connect us and to speak with us and to discuss more about the metaverse, the blockchain, and the real verse in general. Thank you, guys.